Hello everybody, welcome to Live Scribbles with Jonathan. You can check out my website and my work at jonathanrector.com. And if you guys are in the live stream right now, thank you for coming by. I know I've been flip-flopping over the last who knows how long, especially this last week and a half, of a new place to stream from. And I did some tests right through Google, streaming through them. I looked into Twitch. I believe Twitch, it's a majority for video games, but I have seen some artists on there, and I've asked a few people how they enjoyed it and things. My friend Eric and a few of you other people as well have been telling me about Picardo. So I've messed around with this, and I didn't like it at first, but now we're good. Everything should be good to go, and yes, everything should be home. This should be where we should be streaming from now on. I have been, I'd say for the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, just sort of hanging out on Picardo, checking out other artists' work, and just a general flow so I could kind of understand it. I'm still getting used to the software and the website, so if there is a little bit hiccups, if you're in the stream and things like that, I apologize if there's any weirdness. We're going to iron it out. But what I do dig about it, and why I hear so many people praising, is it's easy to not only just like follow people you're interested in, but the community is very ingrained in the entire site. So if you get bored of this stream, thanks for stopping by. I recommend clicking, there's an explore button at the very top, and just start exploring around. Check out other artists that are on here. It's actually very interesting. It's very cool to have that going on. And there's a few. I haven't found too many where they just talk. There's usually music going on, and we'll see if we're going to start introducing that stuff. That's not really a priority right now, but I do want to just drive a little bit of attention to the follow button at the top. I've made a very gross banner at the top with an arrow that should be able to point you there. If you are interested in the stream, I will be saying this. I will let you guys know that I will be saying, please follow for the next few weeks anyway. Just as we get new people in, just trying to get notifications that way. So if you're interested in following, you will. I believe it's working for me that way anyway, that you'll receive an email notification when we go live. And as you know, this show is every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, I want to introduce more streaming so other people can get a chance to come in. And I'll be honest with you guys, after coming home from the day job and sitting down to do work, as much as I love comics, as much as I want to do them, there's only so much energy, and at least I'm in this boat anyway. I can only put so much energy into even something I love, which is this. It's very easy to get home and watch Netflix, play a video game, watch a movie, and just relax. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you stream, it helps, at least in my case, it helps me stay motivated and push through because the time goes by quick. Anyway, I'm done jibber-jabbing around. I noticed somebody had a question. I'm going to go to that. But before we do that, I'm going to leave it open to you guys. I have a lot of Worlds in Peril work to do. So it's up to you guys. We'll just do a vote. You can just toss it in the chat and go from there. If you guys would like to see some, I have an image that I have to ink. So the line art is already done, so what we'll mostly be doing is focusing on rendering and shadowing. If that's something you're interested in, just say rendering and shadowing. The other one would be flats, which I can't imagine too many people want to watch that, but that's getting something ready for coloring. And then the last one would be just coloring. I have a whole bunch of things that are flatted that I need to do coloring for. So if any of that is interesting to you, please just let us know in the chat, because I know there are some people. All of it's got to get done on my end, guys. So if there's something like a specific thing you guys want addressed or anything like that, by all means, just share it in there, and we can do that. Can I enlarge my screen to fill? What? Can you enlarge your screen to fill my screen? So you might see black bars on the left and the right. I can actually see the stream without lag, which is phenomenal for my very humble computer that I have. And the reason for the black lines, just to let you guys know, and I just recently realized this, and some people are always complaining about the resolution on YouTube. The reason for that is because what I'm drawing on is a Cintiq, and it's the 12WX, okay? And it's the smaller version. And the resolution for that, I believe, is like 1200 or 1280 by 800. So it's widescreen, but it's, for whatever reason, it's not 100% widescreen like you see here. So if that's something that bothers you, there's literally nothing I can do unless anybody is very gracious out there and they want to buy me a brand new Cintiq, one of the big 22 HDs. I'll love you a long time. The mic I use is like a really worn down Microsoft headset. My brother gave it to me because he was done with it. The ear pads on it are actually all falling apart. So when I'm done streaming, I've always got these black pieces of plastic all over me. It's actually quite gross. Uh, Eric, okay, he's saying your screen is 1610 rather than 16:9. So, okay, yeah. So everybody knows resolutions and things way better than me. So I'll just go there. So Lars had a question. Jonathan, I have tried to split my Cintiq and my laptop screen. Example, having a reference on the laptop and then draw on the Cintiq. Yep. But whenever I do it, the thing I will draw on the Cintiq with the stylus is shown on... Oh, dang. It scrolled all the way to the bottom. But whenever I do... Oh, man, how do I turn that off? Trying to read people's chat, and every time somebody puts something in there, it scrolls down. Let's see if I can just keep moving. Anytime you try to draw on the Cintiq, the stylus is shown on the laptop screen. Any pro tips? What I would recommend you do is check your Wacom settings. Give me 1 second. I should be able to bring it up, and it should be similar to yours. And there is a reason why it's doing that, and if it's in here, I'll be able to show you. I believe it does that by default for everything. And the reason for this is whenever you have a Cintiq, what's really cool about it is it does double as a Cintiq that you can draw on, as well as just a Wacom tablet. Like an Intuos or something. And I have done this from time to time. Instead of busting out my old Intuos, I'll just put my... it seems kind of weird, but anyway. You'll put the Cintiq down just like you would a tablet, and you just draw right here, right on the screen, and your mouse would be on your monitor. Or whatever cursor you're putting on here. Imagine this whole screen here isn't here. It's just a tablet. And you're able to do that. It seems a little weird, but that's just how it goes. So what you're looking for, I believe, will be... let's see. Grip. It's in one of these things here. And I know somebody's going to just yell it out. I don't want to spend the whole thing here because I've already worked it out, and it's really not that hard. I don't think it's a calibrating thing, but basically what it's doing, and you could do a Google search in case anybody else is letting you know in the chat that I can't see. You're gonna just click, and it's literally that. You're just changing the display that the Cintiq is working on, because right now what you have it on, which isn't showing up here, is that it's like in tablet mode as opposed to Cintiq mode. If that makes any sense like that. Okay, let's see what we got here. Hey, I want everybody to do streams. Everybody that's working, and don't worry about talking like me. Don't worry about none of that. Mapping. James, pen mapping. All right, let's bring that up one more time. I swear there's so much to know about digital that like and drawing in general has nothing to do with any of this stuff. And it's like you just start to forget things. So pen mapping. So pen. And am I not seeing the mapping anywhere? Okay, well I can't seem to see the mapping. But anyway, you should be able to find it. It's not a it's not a big deal. Okay, so what we're going to do then, I guess, is I don't know. I got a big list of stuff. You know what? I'm in the drawing mood. I've been stuck in coloring mode. What I'm doing right now with this project is I'm working in batches, and you guys have heard me talk to death about this. And I actually just I had a little brief Twitter conversation about this with a fellow artist, and we were just sort of going back and forth about working in batches. And what working in batches is, just one more time, for me, I've broken down the workflow that I have for my deadline into chunks, and I've broken it down into a week. And for every image that I have left to do, I have to do the thumbnails, pencils, tight line art, inks, flats, and coloring. So if I just group them all up into chunks, I've given myself 1 day to do all the thumbnails and the roughs, and then 3 days to do the pencils. And I'm sort of combining the pencils and the tight line art, which is kind of weird, into just tight lines, and then inking, and then coloring. And I know that sounds like a lot of, unless I've got like a list that you guys can see, it's hard to understand. But what's really cool about this is I work on, I believe, let me see how many images I got to draw a week here. 10.5. So I just do a group of 10 thumbnails. I do a group of 10 tight lines, and then 10 inks, 10 flats, 10 colors. And what that does is it keeps me energized. So I just need to focus on one thing, and I can. It for me it works as opposed to just noodling on an image and going all the way to completion with it, and then working the next one. I find that it kind of gets like in a funnel. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sort of like a um, everything just gets congested. So if I know I have to do like 5 drawings in one day, let's say, and the first one takes me 2 hours, that's only leaving me with 3 hours left to do the remaining art. And because I've constricted myself so much, it all of a sudden the art quality goes down, or you start skipping your deadline. And you guys know me, especially with all the projects that I have on the go, that I really want to fix that. And for me, it's actually helping quite a bit just to be able to do just that, inking or doing the stuff in batches. So the one I'm looking for should be under lines. Where are you, buddy? 59, that's it. Oh, thank you, thank you. My brother helped design the website. He does much better designs. He was trying to basically make it almost that a kid could update the content, so I don't have to really worry about it. There is just the projects or something in the middle that I have to fix, but everything else should be good to go for you guys. Thank you, thank you. I'll pass that compliment on. Lars is saying, Jonathan, have you ever noticed how much Jessup King looks like the Pringles? No, I haven't, but now that I have, thank you. He was designed after a character I had made called the Mighty Mustache. I don't know if there's even anybody in the chat that even remembers that guy. Man, that's going back quite a way. And after I kept designing him, I started getting a little bit more cartoony with him. And then some people said he looked like Mario. So, Pringles guy, I like that too. I just wanted to fix her nose just a little bit. I was going a little around with it. So, this is what we're doing right now for this image. There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Shadows? There's a lot of shadows that we got to put in here. And I just want to show you guys where this is coming from. So let's go all the way to the basics here. And we're going to turn the blue layer off on that. We don't need, whoops, we don't need that on there. So this was the initial thumbnail, okay? And what I was doing is at lunch at work, I just grabbed a brush and I just tried to worry about light and shadow. And this is coming from really heavily looking back into not invisible ink, framed ink. And if you haven't read Framed Ink, I highly recommend doing it. It's a fantastic book. It just helps you think about composition and things in terms of black and white and gray. So I just kind of hammered into the areas that I want the focus to be. This white silhouette around this villain is pretty, cliche stuff. But he's got like a knife, and the shadow helps point that knife towards her. And she's going to have like a lot of white on her face, so your eyes hopefully are led to her face, and you can kind of feel the danger kind of going, what's going on there. So just lower the opacity. See what I did next. Okay, so I dropped in. This is in Photoshop, just making a quick perspective layer, just so I could have an idea of where everything else is going to go. And I just started lining in the background, rough pencils, and then I started doing this stuff here, worrying about the shadows and just sort of tightening up the characters, placing them in here. And I'm not sure what this is. Oh, it's an opacity layer. And then I did the tight line art for her, but we don't really need that anymore. And then from there, I just did the tight background here in Manga Studio. Everything in that should be good. I have to leave the opacity down because the shadow work is still on this layer underneath. I'm not sure what's in this layer. So I can transform it. Yeah, there's nothing even in here, so I'm just going to delete this whole thing. So we got our background, we got our main character here. Alright, so we're going to worry about the shadows. This character here, the main character, she's got a white knockout layer, so everything I draw behind her, that's why she looks white. Everything I draw behind her is just going to get blocked out. So I don't necessarily need to know where she is. I'm just going to turn her layer off. And just going to increase. I'm trying to find the shadows here. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So I just want to turn this layer down just so I can kind of have a feel of what's going on. We're going to make a new layer here for background inks. This is just going to make it easier now that I know that I want this giant cast shadow on the floor. Yes, I've heard the possible Power Rangers movie in 2016. I'm interested. I'm a big Power Rangers fan, so we'll see. I mean, hopefully it's good. Yeah, I saw one of those Power Rangers killed somebody. I have no idea who that character is. My favorite Power Rangers are like the original, I think the first 3, maybe 4 seasons. That's as far as I really got into it. Alright, so this guy, I guess I thought I drew him. Guess I didn't. So we're just going to put like a little outline for this guy. It's just supposed to be a generic bad guy. So I'm just trying to give him some shapes here that are sharp. This guy's going to be totally in silhouette here, totally in black. But I don't want really any soft lines on this guy if I can avoid it. I just want these jaggedy, sharp lines. Sort of, it's a character design thing that I try to remember as best I can when I can, where it's your lovable heroes or characters like that generally have more of some flow and energy and curve lines to them. They don't necessarily always need that, but it is a good visual element to use from time to time if you're having trouble, or if in this case I need to show one's a good guy, one's a bad guy. If I can start just putting spiky things on this character in the back, including a knife as a spike, it gives it like a dangerous sort of look, right? So that's the whole reason for this, why I'm trying to keep the lines all sharp like that. I'm also going to just really try to sell the evil look and just put like these old 90s style spikes that everybody had, everything. Where's that, right before your shoulder? Maybe we'll just put one up here. Alright, let's try to get a hand here. And some of this stuff I'm going to have to build out as I see the shadows go. It's like a big ol' knife like that. And again, this show is for you guys too. So if you guys have any comments or questions or needed help with anything, please don't feel shy. Go ahead and just do the old all in capitals. You can put my name, or you can write your whole question in capitals, and I appreciate that. And for everybody else, if you guys are enjoying the stream, enjoying the show, all that stuff that we've been doing over here, if you got any friends that might be interested, please share this on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, wherever you guys like to share your stuff. I really appreciate that. And there's going to be new YouTube videos coming out. I was supposed to have a questions and answers one, I believe, during the weekend. But this project is getting really crazy, so I wasn't able to do so. And we're hoping to have it done very soon. And as well, I've noticed a lot of the videos I've been uploading lately, they've just been like the live streams or like, real-time videos, and they're like very long. And I know some people like those kinds of things. Some people prefer the short stuff. I guess it just depends what you're in the mood for. I'm going to see if I can start getting some more of the short videos back up there. So I have this interesting grape pattern going on here, and this might cause a problem when we're stacking our blacks here, just because the blade is supposed to point towards here. So what we're going to try doing here is, let's see if we just turn this off. Let's get the opacity on full blast here. I'm going to turn this perspective ruler off so I don't have to look at it all the time. Alright, so let's start adding some black shapes in here, just so I can give my eyes and my brain a chance to sort of make this out. Lars, I missed the 2 to 3 part videos like you did with the Hulk, Thanos, and Wolverine videos. What did I? Oh, I think those were those like one was all pencils and inks and color kind of thing, or was it just they were just 10-minute videos? Because back in the day when I first started this channel, the YouTube videos at that time, they were only allowed to be a certain length. Well, they were okay. So I'll make a note of that, of just keeping up with like the stages. Maybe something people are into. Yep. Okay, I think we got everything there. Let's fill these guys back in. So let's just zoom out, take a look here. Alright, so we're going to have a little bit of a problem, I can already tell. When she's on here, that's fine. You know what? See, this is bad design. And it's bad design when I should have known better. And because of the deadline, I can't fix it. But it'll still be fine, and I just want to show you why, okay? So in my initial thumbnail, none of this grading at the bottom was down there. It was just flat ground. This way we could play with the shadow, and the shadow was going to help tell us a story. What I did, though, was try to add detail to the ground, which I chose in this case to do was this open grading sort of thing. And because of that, there's no room anymore for this knife to be clear. I can still add the shadows down here, but it's not clear anymore. And because of that, there's a price that gets paid with the visual storytelling. However, it still will be okay because he's got a knife. Hopefully he looks like a bad dude. But that power that initially I wanted isn't getting conveyed here. And I might be able to save it when we get to the coloring with some just doing like a shadow color. But we'll see. We'll see. How's it going, Shin? Matador Studio is asking, Jar, what do you do if you have to draw something and you cannot find reference for it? Like, say, the interior of a cathedral. Whew. Yes, it is, Lars. I would say you should be able to find some reference somewhere. And if not, there's a fantastic artist, concept artist especially, named Fang Zhu. I've brought him up multiple times, and he brought up a very good thing that I started and I've kind of fallen off of, which is anytime you go to the mall or if you go shopping anywhere, head over to the bookstore and just take a look at the bargain books. That's it. Don't go looking for anything else. But at least when I go to Chapters, I see it all the time, like giant tables of bargain books, are like $1 all the way up to like $10, and they look like art books, you know? I've got one for World War II, which I think almost everybody usually has something like that. I have one for planes and tanks. And the reason for that is in those books, they're individually published books. In most cases, if not all cases, the photographer or whoever needed pictures for that book had to go out and take those pictures themselves. So they're unique and they're most likely not found online. So, I mean, you could get a gigantic library yourself of like a church book or cathedral or architecture, right? And there's nothing wrong with them, but it's good to pull back for the reference. So there is that recommendation. The second one is I would assume, we can even try right now. I don't know if you exactly need a cathedral. Everybody's saying, what's that? The bitmap looks... Oh, yeah, okay, so I'll just bring this up before we go into this next thing. Here, actually, I didn't know I had Photoshop open. Let's close that. Save some resources up. So in Manga Studio here, this is all bitmap. Or actually, this isn't. This is actually anti-alias, and if you look, you can see the gray. It's just because I'm zoomed in so much. That's why. If you want to see bitmap image, I will do it later, but it'll probably start looking gross until we start getting some color on there. The audio is good? Great, great. I feel like this is actually a more lightweight program, and it's not killing my computer so much. And thank you guys for all the followers and stuff. This is awesome. And if you're new to the chat again, there's a follow button at the top. So every time we stream, whether it's Wednesday or random times, if you guys are free and you guys wanted to hop in, that'd be great. Okay, so 3D warehouse. Let's get some models. What was it called? Again, a cathedral. And you might not like doing this, and our argument can always go back and forth of if this is cheating and whatever. We're getting a little laggy here. Cathedral. I don't think I spelled that right. But anyway, this is Google SketchUp. Now, I'm just typing in cathedral. By default, you're going to get a lot of outside stuff. But if you keep digging, usually there's people that have taken the time to do interior stuff. I don't know if we'll find it here. We've even tried cathedral interior. See if we get lucky. It's just looking for tags here. Okay, well, I still recommend this. Check this out. And the very last thing I would do, besides the obvious, what's it called, Google SketchUp stuff, is YouTube. YouTube, or remember movies you've watched with the cathedral in it. Put a movie in and pause it. You'll be able to get great reference that way. There was an exercise I used to do when I was doing freelance from home. I was into The Sopranos big time. And I would watch an episode of The Sopranos, and then I would rewatch it for maybe about 10 to 30 minutes, and I'd pause it whenever I saw like a cool lighting or something, and I'd try to just draw that very loosely. And it was actually pretty cool little experiment to do. So you might want to try. Well, that has nothing to do with your question, but I highly recommend trying that sort of stuff as well. To everybody else that might be looking to change up some of their stuff. Okay, so I'm inking now, and I guess we'll just keep it going in anti-alias. I usually don't like inking in anti-alias anymore. Okay, so what's going on with all this? Yeah, we don't need that. Okay. So I'm just going to keep most of my lighting pretty basic here. Just going to pick one direction, like a single light source in this case. Well, there's two. The main one is coming from behind this character that's coming up here. And then the second one's going to be off to the right so that we can see the main character that's going to be on the right there. Very simple background. It's actually very gross looking. I'm not going to spend too much detailing it up. Again, and I hate to keep using this as like a defense, or it's like, well, I'm not going to draw very well because of a deadline. I'm just trying to get the most impact with what I got. Without, if it was up to me, I'd love to be in here and just render out all this little nooks and crannies and stuff. Lars is asking, Jonathan, I did this commission for 6 drawings in total for a friend, and he ended up paying something like $100 for them all. I did it as a favor, but I also think I should have gotten more. What are your opinions of doing commissions for friends? Whew, that is a dirty question. Although I don't think there's like one or like there's 2 friends that I know personally that come into the chat every now and then, but they usually don't. They know art. They talk to me, right? And when I talk about art, and you guys, hopefully you get this vibe from me, I'm very persistent on that it's worth something and that you shouldn't be shortchanging people. So if I have friends, just to answer your question, if somebody asks me that I know, like a personal friend, unless it was like, okay, we'll see if we get there. If a friend comes up to me and says, hey, Jonathan, can you do a tattoo for me? Or can you draw a picture of my friend as a superhero? Usually I'll say yes, but I'll throw full price at these guys. I won't pull punches on it. And there's a couple reasons for that. Not to take advantage of people. That's not why I'm doing that. But chances are, and you guys might be in a different boat at this point in your artistic careers and stuff, but most times I've already got a project going that I'm working on. And when somebody comes in and they want to get some work done, that's awesome. But I let them know that I'm currently doing something. So like, and the other thing is it depends on the time frame, right? Like if they want it done by the end of the weekend, oh, you better believe I'm tacking on some extra cash, because the worst they're going to say is no. And the one thing I would say, unless you're absolutely money tight, and I know a lot of artists can be, but you should know roughly, where your money's kind of sitting. But unless you absolutely need some cash fast, I wouldn't take on these projects unless they're paying, very well. If you're getting paid, let's say $60 to do a comic page for somebody, how long does that take you? For anything like me, if I had to do a comic page, let's say after the day job, right? And I have to come home and do my thing. But somebody asks me, hey, can you do a cover for me? So I know that that cover is most likely going to take me at least my Saturday or my Sunday, right? Like this is taking time out of your life, and you got to start weighing your projects. That's all it is. Now, if you don't have anything on your plate at all, I wouldn't grovel to people. There's a lot of jobs out there, and if they're coming to you, that's because one of two things. If they're coming to you because they absolutely love your artwork, it's my belief that they'll pay anything. Now that doesn't mean you're going to say, oh, you want to cover $1,000. Like, I'm not going to go into what I think you should charge for certain things. That's up to you to decide. Talk to your art buddies and stuff. But if they're just coming up to you because they know you can draw, unless it's under $100, I doubt anybody's going to throw any money at you. At least that's what it's like in my experience. I've had people say things. I used to draw no matter what day job I had. I would draw. I would draw my break. I would draw while while I was supposed to be working. When I worked at the dollar store at Dollarama, that's where I worked for a while, I would be opening up boxes and putting stock out. I would see, and this is going to sound horrible, but sometimes those compulsions just happen. But I would look around. There's nobody around. My work was somewhat done, and I would just start literally grabbing my pencil or pen and drawing on the box that I just opened. And after a while, other coworkers would see me drawing and doing stuff. And they're like, oh, you're good. You're good. That stuff. That's just great. But I think they've never really seen an artist in real life, outside of like the internet or something. So when they would ask me, hey, the number one thing most people asked me for was like tattoos. And I'm not the guy for tattoos, but I would humor them. They would ask me, hey, could you design a tattoo for me? Sure, what are you thinking? What are you looking at? They always have exactly what they want in mind. And if I had the time to do so, I would ask the next thing. So when do you want this by? And most people would say, oh, take your time, whenever, there's no rush. Which leads me to believe that if they're not in a rush to get a tattoo, they're probably also not in a rush to pay you anything. And the next line of questioning would usually be, oh, don't worry, I'll pay you. As if to say, like, oh, no, because I know you, I'm not going to charge anything. Which deep down inside, as much as I think people... This is making me sound like I think people are dirtbags. But what I'm trying to say is charge what you would normally charge your client. Don't lowball yourself to family and friends unless you absolutely need the money. And if that's the case, you could probably still find work online and give somebody else something like that. But like if I had like a family member, this is where I get this too, where some family members would ask. The recent question that I had was my girlfriend asked me if I could draw a caricature for her aunt. And it wasn't a caricature of her aunt. It was one of her, I don't know who it was related to the aunt. And I mean, she told me, but I forgot. And I know caricatures aren't my thing. They said that they would pay me and all that stuff, but these are people I got to see again. And I like to at least have a quality to my stuff, and I don't want to just be the guy that draws, so just come talk to me. I'm past that. I don't need that sort of... I was going to say I don't need that kind of stress in my life, but I don't want people coming to me just because they know I can draw. At this point, I feel like I can just draw whatever I want. And if I can get a job with somebody that I'm looking forward to or that I'd love to work with, that's one thing. But the other side of it, the art side of it, is I'd rather have people come to me because they want my stuff. They think my artwork will help the project. Because I find most clients that are like that, those are the best clients ever. They're the ones that want to work with you because they want your vision and your stuff to bring their stuff and their visions to life, right? And that's huge. That's huge. If you can find that stuff, guys, just consider yourself pretty blessed. Even if you're not a religious person, you know, there's something to that, to have a creative team that everybody's working on all cylinders. It's very rare, but if you can get on there, that's awesome. And I know I jumped around. I'm not even really sure if I 100% answered your question there. So you were saying 6 drawings for $100. To me, I'd have to see what the drawings were, but that sounds pretty low. You know, especially if they're like full colored inked pinups. It's almost $100 a pop, if you ask me. And I know there's a part or there's a time when most people draw and eventually they go, maybe I'm asking too high. And you know what you do? Just throw it out there. You want me to draw you a picture? Maybe you're just starting out. $50. $50 for that. See what happens. See how many people say no. If you get one yes, you made $50. If not, you might be doing a lot of small pictures for like a lot, you know? So anyway, I just want to go up there. What's it called? And just go up there and just double check. Do you guys know? Let me see if I can turn the settings off here. I don't want this. I want to be able to scroll up, but what it does is it scrolls back down, and I can't. Timestamp, desktop notification. Maybe if I can just pop out the chat, I won't do it. Let's try that. And hello, everybody that's in the chat again. All the new faces we're getting here. That's awesome. Thanks for joining and stopping by. If you guys are interested, you can hit the old follow button at the top. That way, whenever we do some live streams again, you guys can check that out and be a part of that. And thanks once again, everybody that suggested this place as a place to stream. So I really appreciate it. So far, I'm digging it, guys. How are you guys liking it? You guys liking it? Look at, there's even little buttons at the bottom underneath these send. You can share this in Tumblr, tweet it, Google+, Facebook. If you guys want to just pop one of those buttons each, big loves, big time. Oh, okay. Before I scroll up, man, I feel like I'm just talking without drawing. Before I scroll up to see if there's any other questions. So on YouTube right now, I made a tweet and a Facebook post, I believe last week. I'm at about 9,970 subscribers, which that's phenomenal. That's insane. That is absolute insanity. But the channel's growing, which is great. Which also means there's got to be changes to facilitate all these like new content for all these new users, so that apparently it's got some legs. You guys are liking what's going on and things being posted and being talked in the chats and stuff. But what I'm a long-winded way of getting there. So when I hit the 10,000 sub mark, I'm going to have a little celebration sort of thing to say thank you guys, to let you guys know right away because you guys are the ones that are always here all the time. What I'm planning on doing is I think I still have an extra copy of my art book lying around. I'm going to give that away probably. I'm going to have 2 prizes. One during a stream that will determine when. It'll be on a Wednesday night. And then the other one will be through YouTube. And what I want to do is get like 11 by 17 Bristol board, comic board. And I'm going to pick a person or two and just draw whatever character you want and hopefully mail that out to you. Just to say thanks. I've got an art book that I'm going to give away as well. I think I also have some issues of the Standard lying around, so we can sign that up and send them out. And I'm going to look around, see what else I can give away. I've got a bunch of like comic books and things that some people might enjoy. Just a little way of saying thanks for helping me get up to the 10K, guys. Like, it's insane. And I just want to let you guys know before it goes on YouTube and all that stupid stuff. Okay, so let's scroll up here. If this takes a little while to read, I apologize. I can't really scroll and do all that stuff at the same time here. Let's see if we got any questions. And if you guys had any other questions, by all means, please ask in the chat. Just ask it in all capitals. I think I just saw one. Okay, so that's the commission one. Manga Studio is asking which pen auto scroll is disabled. Okay, thank you. Wow, it automatically did that because it. That's cool. All right, cool. I don't want auto scroll. All right, so Manga Studio is asking which pen do you ink with out of the thousands to choose from a Manga Studio. Just one. The one that I always default to, and once my personal project starts after this, when this project's done, guys, we're going to have a little ball. We're going to be making just comics for the kick of it. But right now, I always use the mapping pen. My brush size is 7. I don't know. There's maybe some other. I don't have stabilization on, but it's getting to the point where I'm not. It's feeling too sloppy, and it might just be because of just working digital for as long as I have been now. That it's just not as. I don't know. I want a little bit more out of the art here, so I'm either going to look around to see some to buy. I've heard there's one guy everybody talks about. I don't know if it's Holden or something. Everybody knows his name. Everybody talks about buying his brushes and stuff. So I'm going to look into that, see if there's anything there that I might like, or just start worrying about changing or making my own inking thing, just to sort of feel what's going on. But I'm going to be making a style shift, and this should be interesting. Most of the art might actually just look the same when we're done, but I'm actually going back and looking at a lot of Capcom. Like Street Fighter, that sort of style. If you know the artist Bengus, Akimon, a lot of that stuff. I'm going back into the anime toolbox, the manga toolbox, and just picking out stuff from there. I don't want to go like obviously a full anime style or anything like that, but I just want to go back and just brush up some of the things that I've lost during when I was younger, learning how to draw and copying other artists and stuff. And there's an energy and a life in there that I just miss. And I don't know if that just necessarily means my art style is going to get simpler as well, but I would hope that the inking style is going to change. Not that I hate the way that I ink in Manga Studio right now. It's just a time for a change. That sort of deal. And so we'll see how that goes. It's pretty exciting. Just add some more shadows here. So I want to make sure I keep her face pretty empty of shadows. Just get rid of that little lip there. Just a little bit around the nose and the mouth. Whoa. Side here. Then we can ink up the rest of her there. Okay, so scroll back down here. Matter is saying at work, everyone asked me to do tattoos, motors, hoses, cars, logos. Exactly. They just know somebody that draws, so they assume it's just drawing, right? Hey, Brody. Yes, this is it's called OBS, Open Broadcaster Software. If you make an account on Picardo and you want to stream yourself, they have this awesome tutorial link that you can click, and there's options of programs to download. A lot of the people in the chat and stuff, they highly recommended using this OBS, this Open Broadcaster Software, and I farted around with it a little bit, and it's been excellent. Highly recommend it. They use Flash, so you can't. Okay, that's a bum out. Well, if you can't watch the stream, I mean, they are. I know participating with live stuff is good, but they do get uploaded right back onto YouTube as well, so you guys can check that out. Hey, Michael. Emojis. What are you supposed to do to win free stuff? Nothing. As long as you're following me either on YouTube or... Yeah, it'll either... I'm going to do 2 that I'm planning. One on YouTube. If you're following on YouTube, I'll just send a random message to the winner. And then I'm going to do one during a live stream as well. So, yeah. Friendon, that's the guy. Thank you. PJ Holden is the other guy. Maybe I'm mixing them up. Michael's saying, when you get your Castle Dracula made into a live action film, let me know. I think I have a body. Great. You can never get LiveStream to work. Okay, every time. So this. Okay, cool. Hopefully you guys can. Seems like everybody's having a good time with this anyway, or at least what's going on anyway with it. All right. So again, I'll use the exact same excuse I've been using all day. Deadlines, deadline, deadline. So I can't go in here and add all the rendering and stuff that I want. So what I've been trying to do is just, I like to call them bulk shadows, which is a lot of just black without rendering to build up any of the gray areas. And I don't even know if you guys will be able to see. If you guys can't tell what I'm talking about when I do that, that's good. Because it's a sacrifice I have to make to be able to get all this work done. And it's kind of like a defeating feeling sometimes. I don't know if all you other artists in the chat, if you feel like that, where it's, you wish you could just eventually call something done for sure, but you would rather be the one to make that decision as opposed to like some deadline that you either put on yourself or perhaps a client put on you, Alright, so this would be my bulk shadow. So let's just zoom out here. So you can see like it's probably fine. You might not be able to tell, but I need to build up the volume in this. It's just too flat for me. But when we go into shadows and we just start adding like a shadow layer to it, it makes things a little bit easier, so there's not much that I have to worry about too much here. Thanks, Lars. No, creepy's good. This is the IMAX of art. Easy now. Easy now. Okay, so I guess I'll talk about... What's that? You have mixed feelings about the lack of delay in the stream? It's weird. Yeah, actually, there's a setting you can turn on to put a delay, and I'm more than sure I have it off. But, okay, so we'll talk about another thing that I like, and I hope some of you guys like, because I try to talk to people about this sort of stuff, and very few people, I don't know if it's just artists just don't like to read, or they just don't like, I don't want to say self-help, because there's this really good George Carlin quote about self-help. I forget exactly how it goes. It's along the lines of like, if you need somebody else to tell you how to live your life, or somebody else how to help you, it's like you're too far gone. With some of the things I like with some of it is sort of like the ideology that goes behind it. Not necessarily meditating and incantations, they call it, where you're just telling yourself like you're the best, you can do anything. If you do that stuff, by all means, cool. But there's one that's come to my like attention, and I'm just curious. I've tweeted about it. I haven't had a chance to see if anybody replied, but let me know in the chat if you guys had about. It's a book called The Miracle Morning, and from what I gather, it's essentially just waking up an hour before you normally would. And it has some like techniques on how to wake up so you don't sleep in. But if you start your day off right, and you can kind of plan out the rest of your day. I have been, you guys have heard me talking about things of waking up extra early, like almost, there was a point when I was waking up at 3 a.m. I was actually getting a lot of work done, and it sounds very crazy. If I was waking up at 4 or 5 a.m., it was like, no way. No way, I'd be exhausted. But for some reason, 3 a.m. was like a magical number. But I did end up getting burnt out at about the 2 to 3 week mark. And then I'd take a week off, and I'd jump back into it again. But I'm interested in this book because it's got just the idea of it. And I started doing this, waking up, I think it's like just a half hour before I would normally get up to go to work. And I'm also reading The 4-Hour Work Week, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard about that book. That book's actually quite excellent. It applies to different things, not necessarily what we do as artists. And I never would want a 4-hour work week if it came to art. I think I would most likely kill myself. My ideal art job would be probably the opposite. I'd be work as much as I could, as long as I was doing the art that I wanted. And that probably will never happen. But anyway, going back to the 4-hour work week, he was talking about some things in there of just like sort of shutting off social media and stuff like that. You guys must have heard of people say this over and over again. But limiting Right now, anyway, I only limit my email responses or checking email to 2 times a day, once in the morning and then once in the afternoon. And then I also, in the morning, I reply to all the comments people leave on Facebook or Twitter or all that stuff. And what it does is it just frees the rest of the day up just to take care of business, just work. And I'm noticing in myself that it's helping big time. It's keeping me, I don't want to say energized or focused necessarily, but it feels like there's less clutter going on in the back of my mind of things that I got to take care of. Because like I would post stuff on Facebook or Twitter, and you guys and everybody else or anybody really that replies, it's great. I get a little notification that somebody replied to a picture, and I always want to just be able to be there right away just to say thanks, or if you had a question and stuff. And it's actually probably not very healthy to be in social media like that. But anyway, I don't mean to be on a soapbox. I was just wondering if anybody in the chat, if you guys have ever gotten in any of this stuff, if there's any books you've read that has helped you out, or you guys thought were kind of cool that helped you with your workflows and stuff. I just want to go back to what you guys are saying. That Noah's saying, John, I managed to finish the project we talked about. Hey, congratulations, buddy. Does it feel like a big monkey off your back now? Lars, I always sleep 3 more hours than I'm supposed. I love it. Hey, how's it going, bud? Unsung. Oh, okay, that's who it is. Okay, cool. I like it. Oh, I guess somebody else probably already has that name, eh? Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since you've been in here too. Yep, for sure. I sleep 3 hours twice a day. I'm always tired. Jeez, that's insane. Yeah, this will be the new spot Unsung. No more live stream. Everything on here just seems infinitely better for everybody. It's this entire experience so far has been great, including everybody in the chat, I'm assuming. Okay, so let's start. I got a bunch of X's here. Let's just start throwing some black down into this so you guys can see sort of how the shadows are looking. As we can zoom out and pull this out and just to see if we can get some of this stuff going on here. Alright, I'm just going to rotate it too, just so we can kind of flip-flop back and forth. Alright, so I'm going to do, or put the shadow on our breasts right now, just because they're, I'm not trying to be a pig about it, but they're a big white space in all this negative black space here. So I want to balance it out because I obviously don't want the attention on her breasts. I'd rather obviously on her face. So they're going to be, I don't want to like shine them up and make them look like, your eyes are going to go here no matter what, especially if you're a guy. There's nothing you can really do about that, I don't think, unless I just block the entire thing out. I gotta put a little bit of shine there, but I don't want to put like massive render lines and things on it just to make it stand out. Alright, we gotta figure out the shape here. Okay. And the reason why I'm going to these guys here is once I get the black put into this so that I can compare it with the white, it's easier to see how much more shadow needs to be put around, or if this needs to be pushed back even more. We want a little reflective light though. Okay, so it's just, okay, I guess that's fine. Might actually be able to just, yeah, I don't know if that's enough. That's a little better there. This is Worlds in Peril Unsung. The iPhone comic, we're going to be working on that once this is done. I want to say mid-March we'll be able to finally get into artwork. Right now, when I have the time, I'm just generally trying to throw some ideas down for the script. I don't want to cement myself too much with anything. All the priorities are going for this project here until it's wrapped up, so we can move on and start the rest of 2015 here. So it looks like we're about to run the show here. The show's almost done. Michael's asking about the iPhone comic. That's Scorpion. You guys can check out, if you have an iPhone, the app is called Comique, Comique. And the idea of it is, I don't even want to really say it's a comic. It's more of like the iPhone resolution that you normally hold it in is a panel or a page, and then you swipe it and it goes to the next page. There's no moving. It's just literally that. I'm probably gonna mess around and put, like, from time to time, 2 panels per screen. And I'm going to also look into putting a PDF on my site for those interested. For people like myself that don't have iPhones, we just got Androids, so you guys can check it out on there too. And the reason I'm trying it out is somebody I look up to, Corey Lewis. Some of you guys might know him if you follow him at all online, as Ray. And he posted about it, and it was just it seems like a refreshing exercise just to get out of the 11:17 world. You know, if you're doing web comics, you probably are already pretty comfortable doing what you're doing in whatever format you got, unless you're doing a very similar format to 11:17. But like, even what I'm doing here is pretty, detailed work, and the iPhone resolution stuff is pretty simple. So we'll be working on the style and stuff for that. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun. Try to do the old, at least I'm trying anyway. Just have some fun with it, like the old 80s action flicks. Your Stallone movies and Schwarzenegger movies, that kind of stuff. I wish I could do 2 hours today. I gotta, literally, when this is done, I have to just keep, I'm gonna crank some music and just focus to get the rest of this done, because I don't want to stay up too late to get all this done here. Okay, well, congratulations, Lars. He finished his internship today. Hopefully, he had a good time with that. And with that, you guys, I'm going to say thank you once again to everybody that came in and made this live stream as enjoyable as it was. I hope you guys all had a good time, a great time in the chat as well. Seems like everybody was on the up and up. I'm just going to ask one more time. You guys just say thumbs up or thumbs down if you prefer Picardo to LiveStream. And that way, I'm pretty sure I know where this is going. But again, if you're in the chat and you're not following, there's a button right at the top above the chat. Please click that. You'll be notified whenever the stream goes live again. And expect some streams most likely this weekend. I will be just farting around, or like I said a little earlier, when drawing gets a little dry or boring, or if I start feeling like I'm leaving, it's a good little habit that I have where I can just click stream and I can join you guys, and you guys can help me get through it, and hopefully I can help you guys get through all that stuff like that. Okay, so everybody's saying thumbs way up. That's awesome. I'm surprised there's not even one person in here trolling with a thumbs down or anything. But yeah, even if you're just watching this on YouTube and you don't like what I do, you just stumbled on this stuff, I don't know if you'd still be watching it. But I highly recommend checking out Picarto.tv, Picarto, for other artists. It's been awesome. Like I said in the beginning as well, normally I go to Twitch when I'm not listening to music or watching something on YouTube, and lately I've been also putting Picarto on in the background, to listen to other artists talk, just to see other art and just see what else is going on. And it seems the more people doing this for this specific Twitch but for artists streaming stuff, it's the way to go. I think we need more of this stuff for art, and all that stuff like that. And it sounds like a lot of you guys in the chat are agreeing that you guys want to start your own streams for your own web comics and stuff like that. Unsung is saying, I missed the show, so will this show repeat after it's done, like live stream? Yes, it will, 100%. But I'm most likely just going to upload it right now. That's the beauty of this. When I'm done, there's like zero editing I need to do. You guys can see how I have like the lame JonathanRector.com at the top and like where you can connect with me online at the bottom. Normally I have to put that into another software and render it out. It's already done. And that's the best part of this whole thing. So if you want, you can wait maybe about an hour, 2 hours from now, and you guys will be able to see the stream in case you missed it. But anyway, enough rambling. Thank you guys so much. Before I go, James GSR is saying, I need help getting a stream started. Anyone have advice? There's, I don't know if he's still in the chat. You can check. If not, message Eric Fares on YouTube. Or if you're following him on Facebook, he helped me get this set up, and it's actually very simple. Oh no, Eric Ronan in the chat. There you go. So if he's got time, you guys throw some cash at him, throw some help at him, throw some art at him. He can help you guys get set up. He's got a wonderful YouTube channel. Check it all out. Oh, it's fun stuff. Okay, guys. So until next Wednesday, providing there aren't any other normal streams throughout the week, you guys can check out the stream every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like always, you can check out my website and my work at jonathanrector.com. There's also a tutorial section at the top that has a cataloged list of all my YouTube videos. So if there's a specific topic you're looking to get addressed and maybe we didn't hit it on the stream, go there, see if it's there. If not, you can also click the contact me at the top. Contact me through any means that's best for you of a topic you might like or want addressed. And if I can do so, I will definitely help you out with that. And that should about wrap it up. And one thing I forgot to say is thank you again to all my Patreon supporters. Big praise to you guys and gals. Everybody that's helping me on Patreon. Thank you so much. You guys are actually putting money in my pocket to help this stuff if you're able to, and that's huge. So thank you so much. And until next Wednesday, you guys, keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll see you then. Bye.